Council. What I will be doing today is, because of the unusual circumstance, it's not the normal situation where before me on my screen I have a list of who wishes to speak, and so to be fair and sequential, because my good friend George is to my left, and if he waves I can acknowledge him, but there may be several others in the queue. So I think it's very appropriate today that I've asked the clerk to really run the affairs and make sure that we stay proper and fair to everybody involved, et cetera, because there's a lot of communications involved. So that is what I will be doing momentarily, only other than to first thank, from what I've been told, our technical staff here at the region, and a big shout out to our friends in Mississauga, Brampton, and Caledon, the technical backroom folk that have really made this work, because I'm told it was a monumental effort to get all our platforms to be made to work. And with that, I'm going to take this opportunity again to shout out to all of our staff at the region. I'm sure you've done it as well locally, for just the monumental work they're doing to keep us moving forward during these challenging times. So Madam Clerk, with that, I will now take it over to you with regards to the call to order, and you'll tell me when you need me to otherwise perform an official function. Please carry on, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Good morning and welcome to this special meeting of Council. There are two special meetings of Council this morning. The first meeting is to consider and enact amendments to the procedure bylaw to allow members to participate in meetings electronically during the declared emergency as legislatively defined. The second meeting is to consider matters related to the region's response to the ongoing COVID-19 emergency. Under Regional Council procedural rules, no other business can be considered at these special meetings. During these meetings, we continue to comply with provincial orders and public health orders and recommendations to support social distancing, as well as prohibiting public gatherings of more than 50 people. To that end, this meeting is open to the public. However, we do remind everyone that the meeting is being streamed live from the Region of Peel website and encourage the public to stay home in accordance with provincial and public health recommendations and listen to the proceedings from there. We are screening all members of the public who attend this meeting in person, as well as all councillors who attend the meeting in person. Further, we have purposely spaced people in the chambers, including staff, councillors, and members of the public, more than 2 meters from each other to maintain a physical distance. If the chambers becomes too full to accommodate the safe distance, we will move people to different rooms to facilitate safe distancing. At this first meeting of Regional Council, conducted with electronic participation by members of Council and staff, I would like to review some of the rules in place for this meeting. We are conducting this meeting using Skype. For an optimum Skype experience, we ask that those joining by Skype to please take the following measures to avoid feedback and confusion with members speaking over one another. Please keep your microphones muted unless you have the floor to speak. Please use a headset and avoid using hands-free devices or speakers. Please speak loudly and clearly when you have the floor. Please ensure that any surrounding environmental noise, such as televisions, radios, and pets, is eliminated. We have technical staff standing by to assist with today's electronic participation. Thanks for the technical staff at the cities of Brampton and Mississauga, who are also standing by to provide assistance to their councillors. Each of the municipalities have different platforms and devices, and bringing them all together for a single meeting is a challenge, but our collective technical staff have done an excellent job pulling it all together. Having said that, if you do experience difficulties during the meeting, please send an email to council@peelregion.ca. with your issue and a phone number that a technician can call you on and respond to your issue. The email will be monitored throughout the meeting. Thank you in advance for your patience as we embark on this new way of conducting business during this emergency period. Those that are participating electronically will see the regional logo on your screens, as we have not activated the chamber cameras for this meeting. However, during staff presentations, the slides will be visible on your screens. Those participating electronically will not have access to the usual request to speak button. If you wish to speak, please send an email to council@peelregion.ca and you will be added to a speakers list in the order of receipt of the emails. When you are called upon, please unmute your speaker and proceed. When you have concluded your comment or question, please mute your speaker. If you ask a question, the chair will call upon the most appropriate person to respond. After the response, the chair or I will circle back to you for any follow-up and to confirm that you have yielded the floor. When the list as I have it has been exhausted, the chair or I will provide an opportunity for anyone else to speak to ensure everyone's email was acknowledged. We will do our best to ensure everyone who wants to speak gets to speak. If you have any motions or amendments to introduce regarding business on today's agendas, please email your motion to council@peelregion.ca, identifying yourself as the mover and also identifying the seconder for your motion. If you do not have a seconder, the chair will call for a seconder. If you wish to second the motion, please send an email to council@peelregion.ca, and the first email received will be deemed to be the seconder. The chair shall read each motion in its entirety prior to calling a vote. Voting will be conducted verbally. For procedural votes that do not require a recorded vote, I will call for any objections. If you have an objection, please unmute your microphone and indicate your name and objection. If no objections are stated, the motion will be deemed to be adopted. For recorded votes, I will call upon each member in alphabetical order based on last name. Once called upon, please unmute your microphone and indicate your yes or no vote. I will confirm the vote for each member. This process will take some time, so please have patience. If you do not respond when called upon to vote, I will call your name a second time. If you do not respond to the second call, you will be recorded as abstaining from the vote, and your vote will count in the negative as a nay vote. I will be calling roll call. Please indicate your presence by responding here when called upon. If you are leaving the meeting, please send an email to council@peelregion.ca to indicate that you are leaving the meeting. If you have left the meeting for any votes thereafter, you will be marked absent. If you don't advise that you are leaving the meeting and you don't respond when called upon to vote, you will be considered to be abstaining, and a vote will be recorded in the negative as a nay vote. It's very important that you advise if you are leaving the meeting. If the meeting should move into closed session, those members who are participating remotely must ensure that no other person is in the location from which you are taking part in the meeting, or make appropriate arrangements so that that other person cannot see or hear any of the confidential deliberations taking place. If this is not possible, the member must withdraw from the meeting until it is moved back into public session. Prior to moving into closed session, members shall declare that they will adhere to the confidentiality standards as outlined in the Regional Council Code of Conduct. These are a lot of instructions. If you have questions as we proceed through the meeting, please send them to council@peelregion.ca together with a request to speak. And with that, we'll commence the meeting with roll call. Mayor Brown.
Here, can you hear me?
Yes, you can, thank you. Councillor Carlson. Councillor Carlson is present in chambers. Mayor Crombie.
I am present. Catherine, is there no way we can see each other? We saw each other yesterday when we did our call.
No, we're having the logo up, and you will be able to see presentations.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Demerla.
Yes.
Thank you. Councillor Dasco.
Yes.
Thank you. Councillor Dillon.
Present, but can we not have the chat up if we want to speak instead of emailing?
No, we can't, because we have some members who are participating by phone and some members present in chambers. So with 3 different systems, we've decided that it's more efficient and fair and transparent if we do it by email. Councillor Downey. Councillor Downey is present in chambers. Councillor Fonseca?
Here.
Thank you. Councillor Fortini?
Here.
Thank you. Thank you. Councillor Groves?
Here.
Thank you. Councillor Innes?
Here.
Thank you. Councillor Kovac? Councillor Kovac? Marking Councillor Kovac absent. Councillor Mahoney?
Present.
Thank you. Councillor McFadden?
I'm here.
Thank-
Hi, everyone.
Thank you. Councillor Medeiros?
Here.
Thank you. Councillor Paleshi?
Here.
Thank you. Councillor Parrish? Councillor Parrish is present in chambers. Councillor Raz?
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Sato?
Here.
Thank you. Councillor Santos?
Here.
Thank you. Councillor Sinclair? Councillor Sinclair is present in chambers. Councillor Starr?
Here.
Thank you. Mayor Thompson? Mayor Thompson?
Here.
Thank you. Councillor Vicente?
I am here, thank you.
Thank you. And the chair is present in chambers. So all present with the exception of Councillor Kovac. Thank you.
Are there any declarations of conflict of interest at this time? I hear none. The next item I have is the approval of the minutes. Why don't you read it, Madam Clerk? The approval of the minutes is read by the clerk.
All right, Mr. Chair, it's Councillor Sato.
Yes. Councillor Sato.
Thank you. Could I just get confirmation from the clerk? We're not making any decisions on any staffing issues today, are we?
There's nothing relating to staffing on any of the agendas.
Okay, I was just looking at the financial impact report and I wasn't clear. Thank you.
Thank you. The motion for approval of agenda, that the agenda for the March 26th, 2020 Special Regional Council meeting be approved. Are there any objections?
Catherine, Mayor Crombie.
Yes?
Councillor Kovac is on the line. Couldn't unmute.
Thank you. Councillor Kovac, are you there? Okay. Are there?
He and I,
Will
we've been calling and texting each other. I know he's participating, but I think he's having trouble finding the unmute.
Okay. We'll have somebody reach out to Councillor Kovac. Thank you. Hearing no objections to the approval of the minutes, it's carried.
Thank you. We will now deal with the approval of the agenda. Madam Clerk, do you have a motion?
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Parrish, seconded by Councillor Sinclair, that the agenda for the March 26, 2020 Special Regional Council meeting be approved. Are there any objections? Hearing no objections, motion carries.
Very good. We go on to delegations. There are none. Staff presentations, there are none. Reports 7.1, Municipal Emergency Act 2020, electronic participation in open and closed meetings related to Bylaw 23, 2020. Are there any questions on the report? I first require a mover and a seconder. I acknowledge Councillor Downey as the mover, Councillor Sinclair as the seconder. Madam Clerk, over to you if you have a list of any questioners.
We have no emails. We have no, Councillor Sinclair.
Do I use the mic here? Is that acceptable? Yes, I just wanted to make a point here that might be relevant, is the preparation of minutes for these special meetings, electronic participation. And the notion is around open to the public. And we have social distancing in place, so we're urging public not to attend these meetings, although the meetings are in a regular time and place. So I think there might be a reason to put a special note on the minutes for these meetings that we made special efforts to do Skype or live streaming, so that in future people look back, yes, we did make an attempt to be fully open and traceable. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. We will make note. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, are there any other questions?
Having no other speakers.
It's Mayor Crombie again.
Okay.
Mayor Crombie?
Thank you. Please give out the email where people can get technical assistance. Councillor Kovac is still having some difficulty. And secondly, I wonder if we couldn't use a different program that would, in future, that would allow us all to participate a little differently. Is there any plans to, yesterday we used WebEx and we could see each other, and we're going to change the program so the little hand raises when we want to speak. And I mean, if we're going to have to do this for a period of a few months, then maybe we should, upgrade the program that we're using. Is that possible, Catherine? Is that something you're looking at? Because it's very sterile to look at a blank screen and not see each other and interact with each other in the way that we should.
Thank you for your comments, Mayor Crombie. Yes, we are continuing to look into all possibilities for having the meetings, giving attention to the fact that all three of the municipalities are on different platforms, using different systems and using different devices. So we are continuing to work on that, and we'll keep looking at it. Thank you. Having no other speakers on the list, the motion that the emergency electronic meeting procedures attached as Appendix 1 to report of the Acting Commissioner of Corporate Services titled Municipal Emergency Act 2020, Electronic Participation in Open and Closed Meetings be approved. And further, that a bylaw to amend Procedure Bylaw 56-2019 to enable electronic meetings to be held during a period of declared emergency be presented for enactment. It is a recorded vote. I will be calling out names. Mayor Brown?
In favor?
Mayor Brown in favor. Councillor Carlson? Yeah. Councillor Carlson in favor. Mayor Crombie?
Aye.
Mayor Crombie in favor. Councillor Demerla?
Yes.
In favor. Councillor Dasco?
Yes.
Councillor Dasco in favor. Councillor Dillon?
Yes.
Councillor Dillon in favor. Councillor Downey?
In favor.
Councillor Downey in favor. Councillor Fonseca?
In favor.
Councillor Fonseca in favor. Councillor Fortini?
In favor?
Councillor Fortini in favor. Councillor Groves?
Yes.
Councillor Groves in favor. Councillor Innes?
Yes.
Councillor Innes in favor. Councillor Kovac?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Hi, sorry about that. I just had it unlocked in my settings, so I fixed the problem. Everything is good. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kovac. Councillor Mahoney?
Yes.
Councillor Mahoney in favor. Councillor McFadden?
Yes.
Councillor McFadden in favor. Councillor Medeiros?
Yes.
Councillor Medeiros in favor. Councillor Paleshi?
Yes.
Councillor Paleshi in favor. Councillor Parrish? Councillor Parrish in favor. Councillor Raz?
In favor.
Councillor Raz in favor. Councillor Sato?
Yes.
Councillor Sato in favor. Councillor Santos?
Yes.
Councillor Santos in favor. Councillor Sinclair?
In favor?
Councillor Sinclair in favor. Councillor Starr?
In favor?
Councillor Starr in favor. Mayor Thompson?
In favor?
Mayor Thompson in favor. Councillor Vicente?
Yes.
Councillor Vicente in favor. Carries unanimously. Thank you.
Okay, that takes us to communications. There are none. Is there other business or councillor inquiry specifically related to the electronic participation matter that we are dealing with at this special council, knowing there's another council meeting to follow? Hearing none, any notices of motion for the same purpose related to this specific meeting? Hearing none. Bylaws, we have the reading of the bylaws, Madam Clerk.
that the bylaw listed on the March 26, 2020 Special Regional Council agenda, being Bylaw 23-2020, be given the required number of readings, taking as read, signed by the regional chair and the regional clerk, and the corporate seal affixed thereto. This is a non-recorded vote. This is a procedural vote. Are there any objections? Hearing no objections and seeing no emails of objection, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. There is no in-camera. There are no bylaws relating to an in-camera. Do I need a bylaw to confirm the proceedings, Madam Clerk?
That bylaw 24-2020 to confirm the proceedings of Regional Council at its special meeting held on March 26, 2020, and to authorize the execution of documents in accordance with the Region of Peel bylaws relating thereto, be given the required number of readings, taking as read, signed by the regional chair and the regional clerk, and the corporate seal be affixed thereto. Are there any objections? Hearing none and seeing no emails of objection, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, and I now have a motion to adjourn by Councillors Downey and Parrish. Madam Clerk, if you would call that vote.
That the March 26, 2020 Special Regional Council meeting be adjourned. Any objections? Hearing none, seeing no emails. So moved.
Well done, and thank you all. That concludes that council.